Welcome to International Recruitment Solutions for Community Colleges and Beyond. Our guest today is Zapur Salakian, Executive Director and CEO of the Center for Global Advancement of Community Colleges. I am Cheryl Darrett-Boychuk, U.S. Director of Institutional Relations at INTCAS, which stands for Intelligent Communities Around Students. CGACC and INCAS are partnering as part of our launch in the U.S. One of the reasons why INCAS leadership was drawn to U.S. community colleges is because their model complements our approach to considering the entire international student journey, from well before they express interest in studying abroad to well beyond graduation from their destination university and into their career trajectory. As we'll see in this webinar, INCAS facilitates direct interaction among bona fide students, parents, wealth managers, boarding schools, community colleges, and other stakeholders dedicated to global student mobility. Here's what we hope to achieve over the next 12 minutes or so. Pretty straightforward. What differentiates INCAS from all other recruitment platforms out there? I've been in the field of international student recruitment for more than 20 years, and INCAS offers the most comprehensive and cost-effective platform in the world. That leads to exactly how we break through all the noise that students and parents face when deciding where to study abroad, how we actually identify the most appropriate applicants for your programs. And ultimately, we'll discuss how you can benefit from joining the INCAS ecosystem. Just to give you a little more background on INCAS, we originally began in London about 6 years ago, partly in response to the United Kingdom's decision to tighten their immigration policy. The team recognized gross inefficiencies in a very fragmented market, so we're pretty well positioned to advance global student mobility in, let's say, an uncertain political climate. Ultimately, INCAS helps all kinds of education institutions like boarding schools, language programs, colleges, universities attract, recruit, and manage international students in a safe, compliant, and cost-effective way. Now, one of the primary differences of INCAS is that we can provide a comprehensive solution. As we're just launching in the States, you're able to pick and choose which parts of our solution are most appropriate for you. With that entire life cycle in mind, let's walk through it piece by piece. Our Exploration Cloud allows each education institution to showcase their strengths and identify priorities with regard to the types of students you'd like to attract and recruit. Our registration and onboarding team will help you set up your showcase so users in other communities can begin connecting with you. So how do we drive traffic to your INCAS showcase? We're acutely aware of the uber-competitive nature of international student recruitment. The InCast model breaks through the noise, the cacophony that defines our online world today. As a parent, how do I deal with this information overload to help my kid make the best decision for him as it relates to our family? As a marketer, how do I help U.S. campuses attract the attention of families that best fit with their institution? How do we fix the filter failure and break through that noise? We reintroduce the human element through trusted advisors that have the students and the family's best interests at heart. Some would say that's been the traditional role of commission-based agents, and that might still make sense in some cultures. But instead of reaching out to someone outside of your network, it may seem more natural to seek guidance from a trusted advisor who you already know, like a high school guidance counselor or wealth manager. The rising middle class, especially in the Asia-Pacific region, is our focus for initial source markets. Specifically, we're working with wealth managers who encourage families to explore educational opportunities for their children through our ecosystem. What's in it for them? If those wealth managers can provide a deeper level of service to their clients, like introducing the concept of a very cost-effective U.S. community college education, then they win. Everybody wins. And the industry of global financial services is just now waking up to the enormity of the international education market. So many of these wealth managers currently are based in India, with dozens of offices around the world managing hundreds of billions of dollars. So those financial advisors are recommending that their clients, the parents, use INCAS to explore study abroad options for their students. Another complementary way INCAS targets qualified international students is through boarding schools. These students, of all different nationalities and backgrounds, generally have the means to study abroad, which improves the chance of visa approvals. What's the incentive for boarding school counselors to recommend INCAS to their students and parents? Efficiency. INCAS addresses their pain points of dealing with so much data scattered in any number of ways. So the guidance counselors encourage parents to register with INCAS to make it easier for them to keep track of the hundreds of students they need to monitor on their college journey. All the academic transcripts, letters of recommendation, extracurricular activities, along with their corresponding deadlines, all in one place within the INCAS ecosystem. So now back to our little metro map. Students can select which education institutions they'd like to pursue and complete one master application form that they can submit to multiple campuses. Our sophisticated algorithms ensure that you're notified only of complete and qualified applications. And we have students rank their preferences of top choice institutions to boost transparency throughout the process. So if you decide to proceed with the application, you can request a funds verification report to satisfy the proof of financial capacity requirement. That's where a student or sponsor can choose from our network of banks within INCAS and authorize them to ping their transaction history from the past 30 to 90 days, ultimately satisfying that proof of funding requirement. INCAS can also run due diligence reports for you to search about 9 billion records that can detect potential red flags in the student's or sponsor's background. We'd recommend this alternative over any extreme vetting policies like blanket bans from certain countries. We'd also recommend that the student's family deposits the first year's tuition and living expenses into an escrow account coordinated through INCAS via the top financial institutions around the world. INCAS is regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority, subjected to rigorous oversight. Now, initially, some colleagues are a little hesitant to embrace the escrow option because they think they can't afford to put up any more barriers to entry to their international student applicants. In reality, in some countries like China, escrow accounts are gaining significant momentum as parents are eager to elevate their son's or daughter's visa application. And the other side of the escrow equation is INCAS's fee protection policy, which assures students, families, and sponsors that their investment is secured in case the educational institution stumbles financially. Escrow accounts not only minimize the financial risk of education institutions, but it also streamlines the visa decision-making process. At this stage, immigration support becomes important for the student to complete the application accurately and prepare for the interview at the consular's office. INCAS is able to provide robust, on-the-ground immigration support. Through our partners, we have a strong presence in these major metropolitan areas around the world, blending our deep technological foundation with that face-to-face component. We've partnered with some of the most respected names in the business, including Fragments, one of the world's top immigration law firms, with offices in more than 100 countries around the world. So those support centers also run through a pre-departure checklist to ensure a defect-free application, which ultimately improves the visa approval rate. Then, of course, the student enrolls and learns and grows throughout those college and university years and graduates to become a productive member of society. So in terms of the cost, INCAS features an extremely reasonable cost per student acquisition, all depending on which particular services you decide to take advantage of. In some cases, the education institution chooses to volley the cost of service back to the student. In other cases, the institution absorbs the cost, say, of immigration services. We'd be happy to elaborate based on your own institutional circumstances. So do reach out to me or Zep with any questions. Because our platform is cloud-based, we can launch your showcase within INCAS at any time. We would look forward to working with you sooner rather than later, so we can assist you in time for this upcoming enrollment cycle. We'd be happy to provide more details on any particular component of INCAS that may interest you. We're constantly updating our user video library on YouTube. We will participate in a number of in-person events throughout the year where we can demo our ecosystem live. So thanks again for joining us, and I hope to hear from you soon.